Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Mastering Rod Building Podcast. I'm your host, Bill Falconer, and I believe this is our very first father and son episode. And I am delighted to be joined today by Steve and Joe Haywood, who are the father and son behind HFF Custom Rods. I'm thinking a lot of you know who HFF Custom Rods is, but they opened their physical storefront 6 years ago, and then about 3 years ago, expanded dramatically into their current beautiful showroom in Taylor, Michigan. They are a full line Batson dealer, a full line Fuji dealer, Foundation Outdoor Group dealer. They carry REC, Win, Cork for us, like a complete and comprehensive shop, and especially tailoring to the types of fishing that's local to them. Great resource for fly rod building, great resource for anything sort of trout, salmon, steelhead building. So welcome to the show, Joe and Steve.
Thank you, Bill, for having us.
Oh,
Excited to be here.
it's been too long. We've been trying to do this for a while, and we finally got it done. And so we're sort of we had a lot of we could have had you on for a host of reasons, for all you guys do for the community, to talk about your fascinating story of how you kind of left your real jobs and got into full time in the fishing rod business, which we'll talk about. But we're flying this one under the flag of sort of new product episode because you guys have some really practical and exciting stuff that you're working on and have been working on for some time, and just kind of a real, I don't know, I keep using the kind of just practical and sort of reasonable way of thinking about equipment and the stuff people need to build rods and do that well. So we'll cover all that stuff on this podcast. So thank you guys for joining me. But I have to put you on the spot because I ask every one of my guests, and this will be interesting with a father and a son, like, how did you get into rod building in the first place? So would I assume, Joe, that Steve taught you how to build rods, or?
Yeah, absolutely. He did. The way I learned, I think let's start by he'll tell you how he learned, and
Yeah.
then I think you'll like how the way I learned.
All right,
So
Papa Bear, how did you learn?
first of all, I'm going to go back to, I mean, since I was in probably kindergarten, maybe even before, my dad was an avid fisherman and would always take me fishing,
Yeah.
out on the Detroit River, walleye fishing, Lake Erie. And so that's kind of where I started. So grew
Yeah.
up fishing. And I used to own a consulting company. And one of my clients would disappear every year and he'd go fishing. He knew I liked to fish, but he wouldn't tell me where he was going. And it was always like Valhalla to him.
Right.
And so finally, one of his buddies that he was going with, couldn't make it. And he must have got desperate because he asked me to go. And
Hey,
so
by any means necessary, right?
yeah, and he wouldn't even tell me where we're going until we got there, and we're driving at night,
It's a
and
good spot. Yeah.
and it was west side of the state, and I wasn't really that familiar with it, anything west of I-75,
Right.
but we're all the way over by Lake Michigan,
Okay.
and we're going to go fish the Pere Marquette River, and I think
Oh,
that first trip we were fishing for steelhead,
yeah.
and with a fly rod, okay,
Yep.
and my experience with the fly rod was when I was a young teenager. I had my Shakespeare Wonder Rod
Sure.
and beat
Automatic
flies to
reel. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, beat flies to death.
Right.
And I think I probably caught some small brookies, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so we went fishing with this guide on the Pere Marquette, and I really liked the fly rod
Yeah.
he gave me, and I found out that he built it,
Okay.
and so I said, "Can you build me one?" And he says, "Yeah." So went the next year, got the rod, fished it, really liked it, and then I said, "Hey, Dave, can you teach me how to do this?" And he says, "Yeah, I suppose." So I had a place up there by then, and we went up, and another friend went up for the weekend, and spent the weekend learning how to build fly rods.
Now, Steve has taken a very understated approach to this. There's a lot he didn't say. One is, you notice he went only fishing up there like once. He was definitely back the next year, and pretty soon he had a place.
Yeah.
So this place is worth keeping secret. It's obviously an incredibly good fishing spot, and he's still trying to downplay it right now as we speak.
Yeah,
I see
guys,
you, man. I see
you guys
you.
wouldn't like it, just don't
Right,
bother going,
right. Very out of the
And
way, very uncomfortable. Food's terrible. Bugs are
Yeah.
awful.
oh, it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
Just pass, go
I,
somewhere else.
and I'm just
Yeah,
going to go
yeah.
ahead and say the guide, his name is David Roller with Pere Marquette Outfitters.
Okay.
Again, don't call him,
Right.
you wouldn't like him.
Yeah.
I refer too many people. Now I can't hardly get a date myself to fish.
Oh, this is a
So
problem.
it's
This is a
tough. You
problem.
really got to book like a year ahead of time, but
Yeah, well, the
they
good
are great.
ones, The good ones are always that way, man.
Yeah. So, and what's interesting is the first rod that I built for my dad.
Okay.
And so at the end of it, David had me do whatever I wanted to write on the rod. He had a
Right.
pen for it. And so I wrote to Dad, all right, to Doug, and then parentheses, Dad Haywood.
Yeah.
And I put one of one. And as a joke, I put HFF Custom Rods.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's kind of where we grew. And now I'll just tell you what HFF stands for. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know. You read my next question. That was coming out of
Yeah.
my mouth.
Yeah. So my wife and I have four wonderful children, three of them anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say
a younger
what,
sister. She's
I thought
talking
Joe was
about her.
I thought Joe was your kid too. Wait a minute. So there's five? There's five total?
No, there's
four,
four.
four total. Four total.
Okay. Oh, so
And,
three wonderful and Joe. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we had, as they were growing up, we had a high top conversion van, and that's why,
Oh,
Disney,
yeah.
Florida, whatever,
Right.
and haul them around. So as they were growing up, I'd have to shuttle them places with their friends usually,
Of course.
and to the movie theater or whatever.
Right.
And on the way home, I'm going to get something out of this trip, so I'm going to stop at Home Depot and look at the new tools, or
All right. Right.
go to Lowe's or something like that.
Right.
And they would always complain, "No, come on, Dad, take us home first." I said, "No." I said, "We're having fun. We're having Haywood family fun."
Oh,
And so
HFF.
we got shortened to HFF.
Okay.
And
I
so that's
like
kind of
it.
where it came from.
Oh, that's an awesome story. I
Yep.
just assumed it was like Haywood fly fishing or something as
Yeah,
Haywood
a lot of people
family
do.
fun.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good guess along a lot of people, but no, it's been HFF has been known in our family for a while. I'm 36, so at least 30 years.
Tongue in cheek
And then we just
HFF. Yeah.
yeah, so we were trying to think of a fishing name, right, or a name for the business
Yeah.
when we had this idea, and it was like he just kind of said, what about HFF? HFF Custom
Well,
Rods, and it's
I
kind
love
of
it. Now that I know where it comes from, as a
the
dad
more
myself,
he
I
said it,
just
the
love
more
it.
it
That
just
makes
kind
me,
of
this is my
grew.
new favorite name in the industry all of a sudden right here.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah.
a couple of things, housekeeping. Let's give a shout out to the other three kids. So let's talk about the brothers and sisters. Like
Yeah.
so we know there's Joe, and then you said there's three others.
Well, Stephanie is the oldest, then Austin is next, then Joe, and then Becky is
All
our
right.
young.
There you go. Everybody got called out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So Stephanie has come, and Bill, you probably met Stephanie. Stephanie has the last couple of years come and helped us out at ICRBE.
Oh, then I did meet her. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's been great in helping us out when we get busy. Both my sisters,
Yeah.
Stephanie and Becky, they'll come, they'll help out on the register. Just help talk to people because they're very people oriented. They're both teachers,
Oh,
so
that's
they've got
awesome.
that background.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you've met both of them. My
Yeah.
brother Austin, little more reserved, little more laid back, not so much into the fishing industry. He's
Yet.
very, he's a bookworm.
Yeah.
And and not that he doesn't love the outdoors. The guy loves the outdoors. Went to school for forestry for a little bit,
Oh, wow.
but before changing to something else. But yeah, so at one point, me and Becky were working here. Becky
Okay.
since kind of got some other interests she's pursuing right now, and
She moved too far away to work.
yeah.
To come to work.
Well.
And,
Hey.
and I'd like to give a
And
couple
was
more
it
shout
on
outs here.
purpose or was it on accident? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
please go ahead. Give the shout outs.
So yeah, I'd
Man.
like to give a couple more shout outs here, just because I think I'll be doomed if I don't. My wife Lisa has been a
Yep.
huge
Who
part
I know I
coming
have
in
met.
here,
Yes.
helping out.
And my
then
wife. I'm
I was
going to
gonna
say
say
that.
you gotta
and
get
my
mom.
mom,
You gotta
yeah,
get mom. Come
yes.
on.
Yeah, I got to get
Gotta give mom credit.
That's
But
right.
yeah, we call mom in when we need some help, right? When
Okay.
we got an event coming up, when we need help cleaning up or just catching up on some stuff,
Right.
or we're just kind of putting stuff away and making things pretty for
When
events here
there's
at the
been
store.
too much HFF
There's
in the
so much HFF
aftermath,
going on here.
mom is the
Yeah, just
fixer. That's
bubbling
right.
over. So yeah, so that's kind of the core business here. We're very family oriented. Just earlier this year, we kind of branched out a little bit, and we're starting to grow. We've hired some outside help. And when I say outside help, they're all customers.
Yeah.
They're loyal
Oh, that's
customers. They're
awesome. Yeah.
local. They're familiar with the store. We've seen them for years. We know them by first and last name, even
Yeah.
before they were an employee here.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so
Well,
it's
tell me how I want to hear your story of how you got into rod building. Then
Yeah.
I want to follow this thread you're talking
Perfect.
about because you
Great.
guys have an
Well,
interesting
I want
story.
to start that. Then I'll let him
Oh, you're
take
going to start
over.
the story? Okay.
Because he won't say this.
No, I'll
but
say
I'm
it.
going to say it. So when David Roller was teaching me how to build, I took notes, Bill.
Okay.
Big note taker.
I took better notes than I ever took in any college course.
Hey,
Okay.
amen.
To learn to build this
Yeah.
fly rod.
Big note
That would
taker.
have just been notes for some of us. Like, I'm not sure
Yeah,
I
and
got any notes from
I bet I had
college.
6 pages of notes. So what to do, how to do it.
Okay, so
Right.
so what he's not telling you, right?
Right.
He's telling you he's a great note taker. Okay. What he's not telling you,
Illegible handwriting.
the legible handwriting
Oh,
for
yeah.
those of us that have to read said notes to start to build your own rods, right?
Right.
Because that's how
Yeah.
I got started. He
Yeah.
brought home these beautiful rods that he built, and the one for my granddad that he built for his dad. And I said, "Man, Dad, you got to show me how to do this. I want to build my own rod."
Right.
Well, I got to get off to work, but here's my notes that I took,
Right.
when I spent a weekend up with the rollers building our fly rods. And I
Right.
said, okay. And I'm flipping through these pages of notes.
Indecipherable
I'm saying, okay.
Sanskrit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Right.
and at that time I was very busy with the consulting company and I was
Yeah.
on the road a lot and kind
Yeah.
of just left him to his own devices.
Right.
And then off he goes to YouTube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and learned a whole bunch.
Searching for help. I'm pretty sure I learned quite a few things from some FCR videos.
Oh, there you go. The old
yeah.
FCR videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the old FCR videos on it. I remember doing it was my first guide wrap, first or two of them, and I showed
Right.
it to him. He's like, yeah, you need to redo it. Right. And that's what he said. Then walked away.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, get back out the notes, right? Let's see what step I skipped.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And no, so it was a fun way to learn it.
Absolutely.
But,
Well, it obviously took, and that we ought to thank the rollers because, like, I look at your sort of position in the industry and all you guys do for the community, and I wonder if he had, who knows how many people he taught, and it'd be pretty surprising if anyone has gone on to kind of have a bigger impact in the community than
And
Steve,
I
you as
say
a
that
student.
a lot. Yeah, I say that a lot, Bill, that this is all because David Roller.
Well, how cool by him. So thank you, David Roller. And like everybody who's a rod builder, be thinking about this. When some kid shows interest or somebody you go to church with or some, a fishing buddy or something, it's like, man, I'd like to learn that. There's an opportunity, right? Like who knows the way you might change somebody's life, including your own, by teaching somebody else. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that you guys did that. You guys are so interesting to me too, because and maybe I'm so interested in this because this kind of parallels my own personal journey, but I had a full-time job for 30 years before I got full-time in the industry, through Anglers Resource. You mentioned the consulting agency and Joe, you were doing other stuff too. You guys kind of like, and I get asked questions about this all the time, like, how do you get in the industry? How do you cross over? And it's like, man, I don't know what to tell you. I got real lucky, right? I got one of one. So I don't know how to tell people, but talk about that a little bit. Did you guys start out to be in the industry, or did it just kind of happen accidentally, or?
Yes, I worked for his customs consulting company for about 15 years.
Okay.
I was working.
What kind of consulting were you guys doing?
It's international trade.
Okay.
Companies that import and export, we help keep them legal with customs laws and regulations.
Oh,
and
okay.
take advantage of trade treaties the U.S. has with other countries.
Okay. Very relevant these days.
Very relevant these days. Yeah. He still gets questions.
More relevant than I'd like these days.
Still get a phone call. Yeah. But so I did that for 15 years, and then I was kind of getting a little burned out. I've never been a desk guy. It's hard for me to go in and sit behind a desk and sit at a computer and fill out forms and input, information in databases. It was just, I don't know. He kind of sensed I was struggling a little bit with that.
He might have suffered a little bit with that himself,
Yeah.
Well,
to pay the bills.
Let me tell you what happened to me was at our height, we probably had a little over 100 employees in the consulting
significant concern.
And I had two good VPs that worked with me, and they basically, it got to the point I had to keep delegating stuff and letting go, and let them do some things. And I kind of just let myself out of a job. I worked maybe 2 hours a month sometimes,
Yeah.
And so I ended up selling that company to one of the VPs and we actually started this while I was doing that. But now with this store, I'm working 6-7 days a week, 10-12 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, and that's so interesting because and again, we have lots of partners and lots of distributors, and I love them all and everything. But empirically by the numbers, there's kind of no arguing. You guys have been one of the fastest growing in the last couple of years, and are on a real, at least from where I sit with the business you do with me, and also what I sort of perceive and see you doing, and the expansion of the services and stuff you're doing in house, and really that's part of what we want to really talk about today is the equipment and that kind of stuff. But you guys have clearly figured out something. And I don't know, Joe, you and I had a conversation at one point, but I remember, you get to a point where you maybe have enough familiarity with this stuff, and you have enough of it in the shop, and you've had enough of it in your hands, that it's not so hard to put all the pieces together and not forget something and walk out the door, make an order that has everything you need to get this rod built, right?
Right.
In the beginning, that's hard, man.
It's
And,
hard.
and, it,
Very
and it
hard.
was hard. Like Bob McCamey finally, he used to run Custom Tackle Supply, and he finally told me, he's like, hey, man, because he saw me do this, right? I order a blank. I'd order like a fly blank and all the guides and a tip top and a handle and a reel seat and some thread and all this stuff. And then I'd return the tip top and order another tip top. Then I'd return that tip top and order another tip top. And
Yeah.
finally, he'd be like, hey, man, if you just call me before you put the order in,
Tell
I'll
me
get a
what-
tip top to fit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that'd be so great. And then I actually, once I got to know him, would go into his shop, and it was like so much help. You learn so much. And so you guys have unlocked some kind of a secret sauce with some of it may be location, some of it's obviously the high touch customer service, but you guys have really kind of developed this engaged, energized, client base, and have really kind of emerged to the forefront of growing so much year over year. How does that happen? I mean, clearly you're doing something right.
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer. We're certainly on an upward trajectory. And
That's
I
a
think
good
it's a
thing. That's a
combination.
good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
And there's
It's
a lot of things we need to do better, and we're working on
Well,
that.
yeah.
sure. Don't we all,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of the struggles of small business, right? And starting from nothing and getting
Yeah.
to, where we can be at, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years.
Well,
But
and I'll tell you, COVID was a unique set of challenges this year with the tariffs and what
Yeah.
that's done to buying behavior and consumer confidence and everything else has been in many good ways, but in a lot of ways a difficult year, right? So
Yeah.
you've lived through
Well,
some challenging ones.
yeah, certainly. And I'll tell you what, because we started in late 2019,
Mhm.
just before COVID hit stateside. That's
Right.
when we launched our online website.
Right. Yeah.
COVID was, kind of going around in China. Then it came over to the States, started
Right.
freaking everybody out.
Right.
Everybody went home, right?
Right.
Everybody was work from home. And if you remember, it was, for I don't know, a month, couple months, it was essential personnel only
Right.
can be in the
Right.
office.
Yeah.
Essential personnel.
Right.
Well, we
We had moved out of the first place into our 1,100 square foot building,
Yeah.
Right.
and we outgrew it the second month. And then they were there for 2-year lease.
That's what we think of your
Yeah.
plan. That's what we
But
think of
when
your
they
space
started-
plan. It's gone already.
And when they started lighting up on COVID, they put out, okay, depending on your size store, here's how many people you can have in your store.
Right.
We are allowed to have 1.5 people.
Oh, good.
So
How did
1.5
you
people
did
based
you
on
go
our square footage.
chainsaw or axe or how did you how did you do
we
this?
went down
How
the
did you
middle,
do
yeah.
the fractions and integers? How'd you separate into halves?
Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, it was really in COVID was a horrible thing, and still can be to this day. But it really helped kind of boost us, right? Because
Yeah.
as soon as that happened, everybody went home.
Right.
They're working from home now. They're
Right.
in their basements, at their kitchen tables, on their couches,
Yep.
and they don't get that time to get out. So they're looking for stuff to do, new
Right.
hobbies to pick up,
Yeah.
new skills to learn.
Right.
So we just kind of it just all happened together at the same time. And it really helped kind of bump us up, accelerate us quicker than I think we normally would.
Yeah.
If COVID didn't exist. So I'm by no means saying, COVID was a great thing or anything like that. It's just, it was one of those.
Hey, it was great for your business. It's great for the community, right? And that's those are both very good things from where I sit, and no need to apologize. Like COVID
Yeah.
was going to happen one way or the other. It can either
It
be
was
a
gonna-
positive or
yeah.
a negative, right? So
Yep.
yeah,
So
I
we
think
were
it's
stuck
awesome.
in that building for 2
Yeah.
years, and then we
Yeah.
were able to finally say, okay, let's move back in here. And this building, You can't see on the podcast, but if those of us are watching on YouTube, you should be able to see a little bit of our storefront behind us
Yeah, it's a
here.
huge, beautiful store, right?
Yeah, so we're now in a 6,000 square foot building. We've got about a 2,500 square foot showroom. We're doing this podcast right now in about 1,000 square foot raw building room.
yeah, yeah.
And then we've got some storage in the back that we, in a shipping and incoming orders and stuff like that we help with. But all that couldn't have been done really without two things, right? Our online customers
Right.
and then our extremely loyal local customers.
Yeah.
When we started, we had no idea the local demand for our tiny industry.
Right.
It was crazy. Guys,
Yeah.
they'd come and they say, I just need a tip top. I need, but I don't want to order because I don't know what size I need.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They say, just
Yeah.
let me in. I need a tip top. And before we
No,
moved, it was, we
yeah.
can let you in, but it's going to be in boxes. Right.
It's such a luxury to be able to walk in and get what you need.
Definitely.
There's not that many showroom distributors around the country, right? There's not that many
Right. Yeah.
distributors, period, and a lot of them don't actually operate something like a storefront, much less a
Right.
beautiful storefront like
Yeah.
you guys have that looks like, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's like walking into a really high-end fly shop is kind of what it looks like, right? Very nicely laid out and appointed and fully stocked, and it's great. You guys did a great job with the space. It looks awesome.
A lot of builders call it a candy store when they walk in,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
my kind of place, man. That's
Yeah.
the place my wife tries to keep me out of.
Dangerous for them.
If she was in the high top conversion van, there would have been no FFF that included fly shops or a
Yes.
store like HFF. Yeah, she would have steered me clear of that because she would have known it cost us money. But
Yeah.
We can always tell when it's a first timer coming through the door
yeah,
because they take like two steps in and they stop
yeah.
and their eyes are just moving back and forth and you hear them, wow.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. You know how hard it is to set something up like that. So that should
Yeah.
be gratifying to you. Well, so one of the things where you guys have kind of led the way and you guys are both builders, which shows, I think, and informs your product, selection, and you both are avid anglers and outdoors men, which again, nothing against anybody who's not, but certainly you understand what rod builders need and what people who fish in your area need because you guys fish in your area, right? And other areas, and you're both rod builders, and I think that helps. But one of the most exciting things I think that you're working on, and I know as we sit here, we got a couple of major things kind of simmering or on the horizon. One is a pretty significant expansion of the tools and equipment that you guys offer for rod builders, right? Which, again, so many things are not new, within this industry. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But to me, it's always really refreshing when you see somebody with some new energy, some new perspective, bring in some new and different offerings to the market. Technology has changed a lot. We have access to things like 3D printing. The ability to stamp and press and machine metals is different now than it was at one point, right? So like, the opportunity to take some of this modern technology and put it into how we think about rod building is really exciting to me. You also have a major rod building event, which I think this is so cool that you guys teach classes and you host these events. You got a big event coming up. So let's make sure we don't finish this thing without talking about that. But, I'm probably already going to be accused of burying the lead here a little bit because we've been talking for a while and we haven't talked about the equipment. But talk to me about the equipment. So because the first time that I really took, there's a lot of things like, it's funny what you notice. Like I noticed you started selling the little higher quality flat brushes, disposable. That's the brush I use. I love that brush. It's so much better than, to me, a round plastic brush.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who loves the round plastic brushes. Keep using them. But then some things, and then like you guys brought on, it's what I kind of call the Al Engling family of products, right?
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
kind of like super tuned, upgraded
Rail wrapper
stands.
products.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Rail wrapper products. Right. And
Yep.
so talk to me about those. So a lot of people, when I say Al Engling, they're going to know because Al, was making stuff either standard offerings or he'd custom make you something if you reached out to him. Sweetheart of a guy, stand behind his product, does a really nice job, but that's officially an HFF product now. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. So, and that's actually the most recent product that we purchased the STL files from those.
Okay.
From a gentleman named Russell Shipe. So Russell
Okay.
Shipe came out with a rail wrapper support stand in the
Okay.
2016, 2017 area.
Okay. I don't know Russell.
Yep. And so what he was doing is he worked with Al Engling to kind of fine tune the design to fit the Alps track.
Yep.
Right. And for those of you that don't know, the Alps track almost mimics the American tackle track system, right? That
Yep.
aluminum 48
Yep.
inch and the
Yep.
Pac Bay one.
Right.
So
Yep.
it covered a lot of different
By
areas.
far the most common kind of lathe
Absolutely.
wrapper available
Yes.
anywhere in the world, probably. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And rightfully so. It's incredibly popular. We sell more Alps machines today probably than any other power wrapper.
Yeah.
But hold that thought.
Okay.
So and as we kind of continue to talk to L Angling a little bit, we said, hey, if you ever get tired of doing this, right? If you ever need a break or you want to step away or you want to do anything else, please keep us in mind
Yeah.
because I'd love to be able to sell these. I've
Yep.
got a customer base that I think can do really well.
Yep.
And I think we can promote the heck out of these things.
Yeah.
And so he said, okay, not ready yet. And about 6 months later, he called us up and said, okay, yeah,
Yep.
I think I'm ready. I want to do some different things now. And so we spent 2 days and we drove to L. Engling's house before he moved. He showed us the whole assembly on everything. And so L wasn't the guy 3D printing it. Russell was 3D printing it
Okay.
and then sending the packages up to L. Engling. L. Engling would assemble them,
Okay.
right,
Tune them
and then
up
ship
and
them to the customer.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So essentially what we did was we took over that assembly part that L. Angling was doing.
Yeah.
Everybody, knows them as the L. Angling wrapper, right?
Right.
Or
Right.
the L. Angling stands or the L. Angling thread carriage. In reality, it was he worked with Russell to design that and fine tune it.
Right.
But it was ultimately Russell's carriage, the rail wrapper setup.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we take that over, right? We start knocking these things out. There's just because we're selling them, 3, 4 at a time with tip top supports and then the
Right.
carriages.
Right.
It's hard to keep up. It's hard to get the 3D printed product
Yep.
so we can keep assembling it.
Right.
So we've just recently purchased the STL files. We've got a number of 3D printers here in-house, large 3D printers, and we'll talk about some of the things with 3D printing here. But
Yeah, that opens the door for a lot of goodies.
a lot of stuff, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. More
Yeah.
importantly, it allows us to keep up the demand and the
Yeah.
production for those units. On top of that, also, we've licensed the STL files from Jeremy Reed for the
Ah.
Reed stands. Right,
Yeah.
those
What
are
did he
very
call his
popular.
River? What was the name of his business? Jeremy's business. I bought
Well,
some
it's
stuff
Reed's
from him.
Rods.
Reed Rods. Okay.
Reed's
Yeah.
Rods. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's very, and same thing, right? I'm all about kind of building those relationships
Yep.
and just reaching out to those guys saying, hey, I'd love to work with you if you're open
Yep.
to it. We've kind of up and growing and I
Right.
think we can help move your product.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jeremy, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good right now, but I'll keep you in mind.
Right. Well, hey,
So about
there's a
6,
there's
8
a
months down
lesson
the
here
road.
in planting the seed, right?
Yeah,
Like,
just
yeah,
just
that's
plant that seed, right? Just plant that seed, get them thinking about it, and
absolutely.
and sure enough, 6, 8 months later, Jeremy gives me a call and says, "Okay, I think I'm ready. Do you guys want to give this a shot?" And at
Yeah.
the time, we had no 3D printers,
Right.
and I said, "Okay, yeah, we're interested. Tell me what we need." He goes, "You're
Yeah.
going to need some 3D printers first and foremost."
Right.
I said, "Okay." And I said, what 3D printers? So he told us what 3D printers to get. He told us
Yep.
what filament to get,
Yep.
all the tools and the parts and,
Right.
the nuts and the bolts and the bearings and everything that goes
Right.
into those.
Right.
He
Yeah.
told us basically what to get. And we just
Yeah.
kind of started running. And we started with 4 3D printers. We're up to 12 now.
Holy
And
cow.
we're getting more as needed. So,
That's awesome.
but yeah, we've got them running all around the clock.
Yeah, and a lot of people will see these. If you've not ever sat down and wrapped with these, they're upgrades, right?
Definitely
It's
upgrades.
enhanced, improved equipment. And
Yes.
so if someone's sitting out there and saying, "Well, I've got my Alps wrapper, I've got my Pac Bay wrapper, I've got my American tackle wrapper. It works. Why would I mess with it?" And I think what most people, and it is not a dig on the product. I wrap on a Renzetti, and I've tweaked mine out a little bit over time. Jeremy made me a tip-top support before Renzetti, but there just can be little design things in the chuck,
Yeah.
in the thread carriage, in the tensioning of the thread carriage. And what
Yeah.
part was it? The actual thread that gets tensioned or the spool of the thread that gets tensioned, right? Having backup tension, one hand adjustability, or the ease of adjustment and precision of adjustment for the uprights and supports and stuff. These things really are an upgrade, right? And so if you've never got a chance to sit down and wrap with one, like go to an ICRBE or find a buddy near you that has one, because they really are very clever, and to me, a significant upgrade. And a lot of times they're in flashy colors or something. And I think people think,
Absolutely.
oh, people are just
Yeah,
trying to fashion up. It's like, no, 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 no. This is a significant functional upgrade.
it is.
It's not just adding some color to what your stands that used to be black and, clear or whatever.
Right.
It actually is a different piece of equipment, and I think evolved and improved. And that's not a knock on. I think that is a great lathe and a fair price for it, right? And utterly reliable. But having this backwards compatibility, being able to add stands, add supports, upgrade the thread carriage, tweak the
Yeah.
chuck, all these things you can do, tool rests, alignment fixtures, all this stuff. If you're going to be doing it a lot, you find this stuff to be very, very handy.
100%. Yeah, and kind of doubling back on what you said about the colors. That's what we're rod builders. We like to
Yeah,
put,
yeah,
color into
right.
our rods and our
Sure.
decorative wrap, right?
Yeah.
Make
We,
these
we
things
want our
bright
lathes to be
and
special
loud.
and colored, right? Yeah.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Why not? If you
True.
want yellow support stands,
It's true.
we'll make you yellow support stands.
Right. Yeah.
Or bright pink. I sold a set of bright pink, two of them, to one of my local guys.
No, I was gonna say,
Shout
was it
out
to
to
my
Chase.
daughter?
Chase, if
Was
you're
it to my
listening.
daughter, Molly James? No. Okay. All
No,
right.
no, it
Yeah.
was one of my local guys, Chase.
Okay.
But he loves it. Put it on his
Yeah.
Alps wrapper, and he loves it. So it's very much a personal choice too, right? Like kind of an investment. It kind of reflects their personality.
Sure.
So it's and kind of just having standard black stands, which again, there's functionally they're fine.
Yeah.
But if you just want a little bit of a change up, and you
Well,
got
and
a
they're
couple
just
extra bucks.
it's just a million little details like with the
Yeah,
stands. If you mess with Al's stands, or I'm sorry, these stands, your stands compared to the stand, it's easier to adjust. It has a broader
yeah,
range of adjustments. It's easier to find adjust. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
really is simpler and easier to use.
yeah,
So is it to the point now like if someone once upon a time you had to buy the whole wrapper, right? And then
right.
you would buy these as after factory upgrade parts, right? Is
Yeah.
it where now someone could just buy some sections of lathe and then just buy these parts from you and sort of put their whole thing together, kind of like a
They
custom job
can.
after factory?
Absolutely. Just earlier today, I'm talking to a customer who's interested in an Elms Power Wrapper and the Jeremy Reed stands.
Yep.
So I told him basically what I would do is we would take the stands that come in the box from the
Mm-hmm.
Power Wrapper, take those out, throw in the Jeremy Reed stands. It's a
There you go.
small upcharge,
Yep.
and he's happy,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
it ships right to him. So when he gets that Power Wrapper, he takes it out of the box, and it's got his nice, colorful
Yep.
Jeremy Reed stands right there, ready to
Yep.
go.
Yeah, and
So
there's just with any of these wrappers, there's always just a few things. Like I'm incredibly familiar with the Renzetti, right? So with the early Renzettis, there could be a thing where there could be a section of the rod that was hard to wrap because you could only get the thread carriage so close
yeah,
to the upright, right? And
yep,
they make pieces to accommodate for this. In the older Renzetti upright rollers, the rollers didn't overlap, and so the very tip section of a rod, especially like an ultralight rod or a very fine fly rod, say 3 weight or less, you would slip through there. Well, that's Jeremy. That's what I got from Jeremy. Is he made this? You're referring to it as the tip extension of the tip attachment, but it sort of
yeah,
solves that problem of supporting the tip so you can actually wrap it and spin it,
yeah,
and it doesn't get stuck
absolutely.
down there in the wheels. Like there's actually real value to this stuff, and I'm always amazed by our community. And Don Schaefer may have said it best. He talks about like everybody we sell to that are our customers are like world-class DIY people, right? So of course they're going to tweak, right? Of
Yeah,
course they're going to
yeah,
do their own thing and mess with it. But it's really fascinating. Some of these, like I wrapped on a Renzetti for 20 years before Jeremy showed me the tip thing, and I was like, huh, that's a really good idea. I never
yeah,
thought of that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
would have never thought of that. So I'm glad you did, right? But
yeah,
it's they're worth checking out. So and you can find them on the website at HFF Custom Rods. That's
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
so you teased me a little bit. Now you got my
yeah,
interest. You've got a
yeah.
bunch of 3D printers now, and
We
you've
got a
got
bunch of 3D
what else
printers.
have you got in the works that you're allowed to talk to us about yet?
Yeah, okay. So, and I briefly teased it about a month ago. We've been fine tuning it ever since, but we are coming out with our own version of an HFF Power Wrapper. We're super excited about.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it's going to be a full blown Power Wrapper, right?
Okay.
And I can pull it over here to the camera so you can take a look at it. So another reason to hop onto YouTube,
That's
but
right.
it's a full blown Power Wrapper. So it's got a metal 3-jaw chuck. It's got a power wrapper. It's got a dryer that's incorporated. It's got a
Mhm.
rheostat. It's got a foot pedal. For all intents and purposes, it's a power wrapper, right?
Yep.
The difference is the track sections are 3D printed. They're going to
Interesting.
come in 1 foot long increments. Okay.
Oh, wow. So you can make whatever length you want.
You can make it whatever length you want. And I'll slide it here in front of the camera, and I'll kind of talk to it as I'm moving it around here. But the way we 3D printed these, again, they're 1 foot increments. I'm going to lower the camera just so
Oh,
you can
wow.
see
Looks
a little
nice.
bit here.
Looks robust.
Yes. Yep. So it's robust. So this actually will be an upgrade. This is kind of going to be our called
That's
our
like the
power
whole power
section.
head and control unit.
It
Yeah.
is. It's the whole power head. It's everything together in one. And if you start, this will be available in a hand wrapper version also. Okay. So
Oh,
the
that's
hand
killer.
wrapper, you'll
And
have 2
everything's
support
compatible
stands.
whether you're power or hand. Yeah.
100%, right? So if you want to start with a hand wrapper, okay, you'll get this, then you'll get 2 6-inch sections. You're going to get some just basic V support stands.
Ah,
Notice so far, none of this stuff has rollers on it, right? There's
right.
no wheels, there's no knobs, there's no adjusting. It's all pressure fit
Yep.
to slide on the track here, but not so tight to where you can't move them.
Yep. Clever.
Okay, so just to give you a little idea of what this will look like as a hand wrapper, we'll put the other one in here. So the hand wrapper will sit like this, okay, again with a couple slots. And then we've designed this thread carriage here, okay?
Okay.
So this thread carriage, this took a little bit of design work here, and we're pretty proud about it. Again, because if you look, there's no wheels, there's no bearings, there's
And you're putting
nothing.
pressure on the spool, not the actual thread, which is killer.
100%.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll get to that. That's I wanted that for a reason, and I know you'll agree with me on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the way we designed this, if you can see the way the base of this
Yep.
is shaped, right?
It's got a
almost like
ceramic
little
pigtail
steamboat.
and it's almost got like a T-track kind of base.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So it's meant to fit specifically in this track here, and it slides unbelievably smooth, like
Yep.
butter, with no wheels, but there's no wobble. Very, very little wobble. And it's just as simple, right? We
Right.
wanted something simple.
Well, it's
that
going to
was
keep
efficient,
costs down
that was
too. Yeah.
effective. 100% keeps costs down.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it the kiss wrapper, but he vetoed me with that one.
Yeah, I beat
Hey,
him on that one.
Hey, you
Yeah.
won the arm wrestle on HFF. You
Yeah.
can't win them
Yeah.
all, man. You
Yeah.
can't win them all.
So, and again, the way these are printed, so we have these cutouts here.
Mhm.
You can see
It's
the
a very,
cutouts. here.
it's a, I wish people could see this. It's a pretty sophisticated geometry to these rails.
Yeah. Yep. So
What are you going to call this equipment? Just the
we're not,
HFF wrapper? Or?
that's probably what
That's
it'll
the-
be out of the gate. We're not entirely sure yet.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. We have some name ideas.
All right, I smell a contest. Come up with the best
Smell a
idea
contest,
name.
come up with a name.
And
Yeah.
you win a HFF t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is 2 pieces right here that is put together, right? So this is 24 inches
I
of
can't even
track.
see the seam. Yeah.
You can't see the seams. When it's laid down, it's super flush when you have your carriages in there. It's just an amazing. And again, you can go to, if you want a 30-foot wrapper, you can buy 30 of these 1 foot sections and you can have 30 feet.
And you can see I'm just holding it by by just one.
Yeah, it's light. It's rigid.
very
Yeah.
rigid. If you got 8 feet of it on the table and you just grab the section in front of you, pull up, the whole track comes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
super
awesome. And I
lightweight,
assume this one is red, but I assume because it's 3D printed, you can do colors. You can.
multiple colors.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
we started with black to get our prototypes. I think
Sure.
this is, I don't know what number prototype this is. We're pretty high on the prototype list.
Yeah.
But we fine tuned it, right? We spent
Right.
a lot of time, a lot of detail,
Yeah.
a lot of attention to detail in this, just to
Absolutely.
get it right. Because before it's good for the customers, it's got to be good for us.
Right. Well, and
Um,
this really is something different. So
It is. Yeah. And keeping it so compact and so lightweight helps with a lot of things, right? It makes it more portable,
Yep.
super easy to ship right now. So now your shipping cost goes way down.
way
You don't have
down.
to deal
Yeah.
with those oversized shipping fees that you have to with a lot of
Which
the
are
other power
worse
wrappers
now
that
than
are-
they've ever been. Like that's a real thing these days. Yeah.
Yes. So also with this track is we've taken the slot here and the slot here and the wide slot in the middle.
Right.
All right. And we've designed those in such a way to where they will take the L. Engling stands, they'll take the Jeremy Reed stands,
Brilliant.
they'll take
Yep.
the Elp stands, they'll take the American tackle stands, they'll take all those stands. You could put them on this track.
It's like a universal rail track. Yeah.
Exactly.
In
Same
1 foot
thing.
increments,
Same thing
yeah.
with the carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will fit the L. Engling carriage. It'll fit the Alps carriage.
Yeah.
It'll fit the CRB carriage. So all of those carriages will
Yeah.
fit in this track. And that was important to me because I know a lot of people already have some of this equipment. They
Sure.
already have
Yep.
some of these tools, right?
Yep.
You they may not be happy with their existing power wrapper, but their stands are still functional or their
Yep.
carriage is
Yep.
still okay.
Yeah.
So they can get this power wrapper and they can use their existing equipment. So they don't
Yeah. It's going to
necessarily have
make
to
it a
make
lot
that
less of an
spend.
investment to have to get into
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. It's a
Absolutely.
great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's modular. You can add on to it. When we do release these here, they will come with cases too.
Cool.
The
Yeah.
idea is to stack these all up in a case, right? Because we got a lot of customers that don't have a dedicated rod building station.
Right.
Okay. They set it up in their garage or in their dining room or on their kitchen table,
Yeah.
or wherever it is, and it's a temporary thing. And when it comes time to move that, okay, well, they either pick up the whole 8 foot unit and
Yeah.
move it,
Which is a
or they
recipe for disaster. Yeah.
exactly, or they've got to use, they got to try to take off the nuts and the bolts.
Right.
The beauty with this is all these pieces can be assembled. Each track section snaps and clicks.
Well, and I
So
tell you,
there's,
I'm already envisioning like one of the things that I struggle with is
yeah,
I try to like anytime like I go fishing in Venice, Louisiana all the time. I'm always repairing rods for my guide buddies down there, right?
yeah,
And so I always got to manage taking equipment down there. This would be super easy
yeah,
peasy. Throwing a
yeah,
tote with a little bit of finish, some
yeah,
threads, selection
yeah.
of guides and tip tops. You know what I mean? Like it'd be
That's it.
great. I mean, like I do have an established setup where I don't have to break it down. Thankfully, it's in the hidden away in the shop. But
Yeah,
but I still think there's a need for this to travel with,
yeah,
to go do demonstrations with. Like I had to
yeah,
my daughter and I recently did a rod building demonstration with Girls Inc. here in Birmingham, and that was the hardest part was getting the equipment there to be able to show them something, right? So it would
100%.
have been nice to have this.
Well, and this kind of opens the door too. We've had a lot of requests for traveling rod building classes,
Yeah.
specifically, oddly enough, in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Okay,
There's just not a lot going
you're
on up
supposed to
there.
make the hand, and you're supposed to
Yeah,
point
sorry.
where.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't do that, I can't tell you're actually really from
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah. So no, so we've got a cabin up in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and 2 hours north of the bridge, and it's there's requests up there because
Same story.
there's not a lot to do up
Yeah.
there.
So we're down at a tavern about 8 or 10 miles from the cabin, and nearest towns from there is 28 miles away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a small town at that.
Right.
And so we're inside having dinner there, and the owner happened to look out the window and he sees Joe's truck. It's got HFF Custom Rods, and he just yells out above the crowd,
Which
"Who does
one are
the
you?
custom rods?" And so that started the conversation, and he is really after us to come up there and do a rod class.
Yeah.
Oh, you should do it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
before, it's difficult because when we do rod building classes here, we've got, flex coat machines set up. We got the DC 777s, the DX 777s.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got the Elk machines. We had some of the CRB Pros, right? So we had all these machines set up, but when you talk about traveling with those, it's
Yeah.
it's
It's a
very
different
difficult.
thing. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So having a system like this now
Yeah.
makes it much more feasible for
Yeah,
us.
you may have seen my custom rifle case that's laser cut
I
foam
have.
to take my
Yes.
Renzetti to Japan so I can demonstrate.
I have. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
no, that is a pain, right? That's
Yeah.
not something most people want to go through, right? But
Yeah.
I'm just so scared to get to Japan and try to wrap on a different wrapper or something. Like invariably, I've learned this
Yeah.
from teaching people and trying to do videos and
Oh
being
yeah.
live. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong when you're
Yeah.
putting yourself up as an expert,
Yeah.
demonstrating for an audience. It's like stuff that never has happened to you in your entire life. That's what
Yeah.
it happens then, right? But
Yes. Yeah.
you still got the thread carriers. Let's talk
I
about
still have the
this.
thread carrier. So I just wanted to talk to this just real quick because I believe you're going to have the same viewpoint that I have with this.
Yeah,
So, and this is just a single one spool thread carriage.
right,
These will also have a 2 spool carriage
right.
and a 4
Okay,
spool carriage that'll be available. So out of the box, these units will come with one spool and one 2 spool thread carriage.
oh,
Okay.
cool. Yeah,
Now, again, keeping simplicity fully in mind here. We didn't want something overcomplicated,
right,
and I wanted my thread, right? When I'm wrapping rods, I want as little contact from my thread coming off the spool up onto the blank.
right,
Meaning I prefer it to not go through discs, through metal,
right.
right? Through anything unnecessary,
Nothing
unneeded.
good's gonna happen when you're putting
Nothing
the
good's
tension
gonna
on the
happen.
thread itself. Yeah,
Exactly, right?
yep,
So it's super simple, right from the spool through the ceramic eye hook
yep.
and then right up onto the rod blank.
Right. And so the
As far
pressure
as
is put on the sides of the spools via these magnets
exactly.
instead of a spring,
Yes,
which is
Right.
also
100%.
incredibly simple and
Yep.
incredibly durable, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
So we've got the magnets here and just a knob. So the closer you tighten the magnets, the closer the tension is on the
Higher the
spool.
tension. Yeah, yeah. No, it's a
And that's
very
it.
clever design. Very
Yeah,
clever design. Yeah.
that's all it is, right? Kind of a less is more type feature,
Yeah.
which again allows us to keep the cost down on this unit.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm not trying to talk badly about any the most common type of thread tension, which does actually sandwich either
mhm.
between metal washers or metal washers with Teflon sheets, or insert variation here. But there's lots of threads that are fine when you do that, right?
Right.
So like the Fuji, the Ultra Poly and our metallics and all that generally hold up pretty well. There's some other metallics that don't. There's some Trimars and things that have an inconsistent diameter. And then there's some of those where they're actually, if you're going to wrap multiple threads for whatever technique, Tiger, or just hurrying
Yep.
up your extended under wraps, or insert scenario here, you can't. It can be very difficult to get even tension on two threads going through the same tensioner, right? And you
Yes.
sort of solved all that when you. And the other thing you're not saying, but I think is there too, is as spools are different, right? That
Yep.
that will fit whatever size spool. It doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be like a standard Gouda Broad or Pro
Nope.
Wrap or Ultra
Yep.
Poly spool. You could
Yep.
put a smaller or larger spool on that, and it would still
You could
work.
put
So
the 100 meter, the 1 ounce, right? The
right,
800
exactly.
meter.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I've
Yeah.
always thought that was one of the real advantages of the Renzetti, was minimal contact on the thread and nothing
Yes.
that's going to ever damage the thread. And if you've only hand wrapped, I can tell you it's a different thing to wrap at high speed and tension under power, the amount
Yes.
of heat and friction you get built up. So like
Yeah.
some people may be saying, that's crazy, I've never had my thread damaged. Well, just understand there may be ways that other people are wrapping where that's a very real thing.
Yes.
And so yeah, I love the design. I think it's
Yeah.
very clever.
Yeah. No, we're super excited about it. I don't know if you want to tease a price on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Well, I was
we're
going to ask, I was just sitting
yeah.
here debating whether I should be like, do we have any
Yeah.
idea on price yet?
Yeah. So we're going to do an introductory price. You're going to get an HFF power wrapper again. You're going to have the power head with the three jaw chuck,
A
metal
real
chuck,
metal centering
real
three jaw
metal,
chuck.
right?
Yeah.
This is not plastic. The only thing plastic is our high quality PLA that we use when
Right.
we're 3D printing these.
Right.
You're going to get 4 support stands. You're going to get a 1 spool carriage and a
Yep.
2 spool carriage for $299.
Oh man, that's a heck of a value.
$299.
And will you
So-
sell the parts? Will it only be as a complete wrapper, or will you sell the parts modularly so people can just buy and take what they
Great
want?
question. Yes. Yeah. So we'll sell it in a variety of different ways, right?
Okay.
So first and foremost is color options. I showed
Oh,
you
yeah.
the red here. We'll of course have black. We also have a very nice blue, and we've got a transparent green. The transparent green, I think, is going to be the
Yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I've got a track section.
One.
Yeah, he'll grab a track section. It's my favorite. We've had
Yeah.
local customers in the store. They've already
Gravitate towards it
probably half a dozen of
immediately.
those sold
Yeah.
already.
Right.
Yeah, they say, put me down for a green one. I gotta have the green.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy it in of course
Ooh.
multiple colors. So this is the transparent green.
You're not going to
here.
lose that piece.
No, you won't lose it. It's so cool. And then when you have the stands that go with it, so you can kind of see my hand through it here, right?
Yeah, yeah,
As
yeah.
I flip my hand around on the other side.
See,
It's
I
it's
just like
super
the
cool.
light colored stuff for the light
Yes.
reflection and being able to, the older I get and the more my
Yeah.
eyes are not as good as they were,
Yeah.
that stuff helps me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's super cool, right? It ties in with the colored stands.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys, we like to have color, right? And
Right.
before it was, if you bought a power wrapper, well, guess what? You could get a silver aluminum track, you could get a black track,
Yeah.
right? Or you can buy one that's made of wood,
Yep.
right? None of them are bad options,
Right.
but there's just, again, what can we offer that's a little bit more, that's a little different,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
we think customers can have their, opportunity to express themselves a little bit.
Well,
And
I think
having,
you
colors like this is really cool. And we'll be doing limited
alien
edition
zombie
colors too.
apocalypse is that color, right?
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. So we'll have limited edition colors, right? We're
Yeah, yeah.
talking about having some orange and black ones for the month of October,
There you go.
right? And some lighter colors, for Christmas and springtime. There'll be limited runs.
I guarantee
So-
you down here in Alabama, you could sell some crimson and white wrappers or some
Oh, yeah, we could do
blue and
that.
orange and white Auburn and Alabama wrappers for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff
So
would fly off
stay
the
tuned.
shelves.
We're super excited about those. We will be selling those for the first time in person at the event. And I know you want to talk about this at the
Yeah,
Michigan
you
Rod
led
Builders
me
event.
right where I was getting ready to go. Yeah, so you
Perfect.
guys, this is not your first event, but
It's
these things
not.
are sort of gaining steam and getting bigger. Tell me about the event because
Yeah,
you partner with another organization in your
we
area for
do.
this one. Yeah.
We do. So we partner with a couple different ones. The one that's coming up right now is called the Michigan Rod Builders Gathering,
Okay.
and it's been going on for several years. This is their 13th annual gathering.
Oh, wow.
Before we were around, they were meeting kind of in the middle of the state of Michigan,
Hmm.
in a town called Lanesburg. It was just
Hmm.
kind of a central location for everybody to come,
Yeah.
and almost an equal drive time for anybody coming there. And that was fine, right? When we first started, we were going to those meetings, we were attending them. I think it was an hour and 30-minute drive for us to get there.
Hmm.
Um, it was okay. And then we kind of pitched the idea of, hey, we've got this storefront here. We've got this raw building room where we can have people in, do demonstrations. We've got a big screen TV where we can do Zoom calls,
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. It
It's a
doesn't have to
great
be in
setup.
person.
It's a great
Yeah.
setup.
And
Yeah.
and we can fit, 50 people in this room with standing room outside of, and behind us in the glass behind
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so that's we kind of become the go-to place for these events because we've got this beautiful
It's a good
storefront
setup.
here and the
Yeah,
place to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And selfishly speaking, it's a no-brainer for us to have 50 people in the
Oh,
store
sure. They're
looking
all
around.
customers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So it's become really good. We've got, the Michigan Rod Builders Gathering that's coming. We've got the Great Lakes Rod Builders Gathering. That's a organization that's a couple years old now.
Yeah, yeah.
Todd Dabrowski started that.
Uh-huh.
But they're both excellent events. So the Michigan Rod
Well,
Builders Gathering, that's a week away.
yeah, that's
Next
coming up. So
Saturday.
as we're sitting here right now, we're going to try to fast track this one and get it out quick in the hopes
Yeah.
that we can get the news out to some people who might be interested. But as we sit here, it's Friday, September 12th.
September
And this
20th.
No, no, he's
No, I
kidding.
said
Oh, so
today
I'm
is the
sorry. Yes.
12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the event starts next week, right? Which
Yeah.
is
Saturday, September 20th, right here in the
okay.
store.
10
Yep.
Okay.
a.m.
10 a.m.
Awesome. And we're going to
Yep.
post links and details and all that
Perfect.
kind of stuff. But, it's been an eye opener to me how many builders are in that area. It's a lot
Yeah.
more than I thought, right? Like we,
Us
we
too.
certainly the upper East Coast, everyone
Yeah.
knows there's builders there. And we know
Yeah.
Florida is what it is and sort of
Yep.
both the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic coast. But
Yeah.
there's
No,
a
we've got
really,
Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana,
yeah,
Ohio, right? We
yeah.
got people from Canada that come down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, it's a different region
It
than what's down
is.
south.
It is. And I
And
think that's part of your success. And I know this was part of y'all's plan and part of your research back when you started this thing, but kind of feeling like that was an area that was a little bit under focused on and underserved,
it was
from
lacking. It
within
Absolutely.
was
the
lacking. Yeah.
industry. And so I think, we were talking about your growth and success earlier. I think that's part of it too, is you're kind of in the right place,
Yeah.
and there's some hardcore hunters and fishermen in the state, and in the entire surrounding area. And it's, if you've only ever been to Detroit, Michigan is a beautiful, beautiful state. Like, go somewhere else, go to Traverse City or Grand Rapids, or get out of town,
Beautiful
and
place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
it'll surprise you, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of, it seems like a no-brainer now, that you guys have had such success with all these gatherings and everything. But I think it's really cool, and I just hope it's a kind of a proves to be a tender box full of potential that you guys can kind of get blazing and keep going,
Yeah.
because not only because it'll be good for business, but of course it's so good for all of us when we get new artists involved and new people joining the community, and more fathers and sons maybe building rods together. I love that part of y'all's story, man. I'm gonna call my dad and shame him as soon as we hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you loved
Yeah.
me, you would have taught me to rod build when I was young. You would have taken good
Yeah.
notes. I wouldn't have been able to read his handwriting either. He's got my dad, Jim. He's a remarkable person who I love dearly, but handwriting is not one of his strengths. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we've had a ton of fun.
yeah. Well,
I know we talked about working a lot, but neither one of us get up and we feel like we're going to
No, and I
work.
love it. And like on like a Sunday,
yeah.
I want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good,
And
Yep.
man. That's great.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
It's
I
just,
think you guys have brought, and this is just one guy's opinion, but I think you guys have brought a lot of energy and some novelty to it too. Like kind of when I think about ICRBE, right, which I love ICRBE, but you guys do really well at that show, and you've
we
done
do.
really well in part because you've had a really cool setup, and the stuff that you bring and how much you bring and how you set it up and how much help you have in the booth to help people
Yeah.
find stuff. The touchscreen TV stuff where you can
Yeah.
you've done some things that are kind of I think in a really good way, pushing the rest of us like, we're gonna have to step up
Yeah.
our game. Like we need something more engaging at the
Yeah.
anglers booth, or else they're gonna go play with the big digital interactive screen at the HFF booth.
Yeah. So
That's
if
good. Like I like that. I
if
think
you
that's
thought that
good.
was cool, so and I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, and I don't think he's made aware of this yet, but
Uh-oh.
we were super excited with the digital catalogs, right, that we did
Yeah. Well,
for
it's
Anglers
working really
Resource,
well.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Batson catalog. Um, I'm always thinking, okay, that's cool, right? But
Right.
what can we do? What's better? What's
Right.
better than that,
Right.
right? And right now we live in a world driven by AI, artificial intelligence, right?
100%.
Okay, so how can I take that? How can I apply that to what we're doing in our industry?
Right.
Those are the things that are constantly grinding around in my head.
Interesting.
And so we've been working, we launched a new website earlier this year in April
Yeah.
that's been very well. It's got good, been responsive, very responsive for customers, but we're always improving that. And one of the things we're looking to do right now is heavily involve AI in our new website.
Interesting.
So customers will be able to go on there and they'll be able ask the website questions about rod building or
Okay.
questions about, hey, what rod is good for this fish, right? It'll give them the blank, it'll give them the guide recommendations. You can ask it what the butt diameter is, what's my tip top,
Yeah.
what's good, between an acid wrap and a conventional. Tell me the
Yeah.
differences
Yeah.
between that.
Yeah.
So we're working on building that up. With AI, there's a period of learning that's involved with AI,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You've got to
Right.
teach it. So the more information that you can feed
The
the
faster it learns and
AI,
the better it is. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. That probably is going to be a little bit of a growing process, but
Yeah.
that's, I think, our next big leap here
Yeah. Yeah.
is bringing 2025 soon to be 2026,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where we're at right now,
Yeah.
and that's where the world is around us. It's
I
we're
think
growing and
I think you're
technology
onto
is taking
something
off.
there. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I mean, and this is just one guy's opinion, right? But I'll tell you, I have bought ever in my life, I think one guide set ever. And it was the guide set that came with the very first rod I ever built when I bought a complete kit from Cabela's, right? I bought a Loomis IMX 8-foot 2-piece 4-weight
Yeah,
fly kit, and it
yeah,
had the Struble reel seat and the cork grip, and it had all the guides and tip top. I got to pick 2 colors of thread. It came with epoxy adhesive. It came with epoxy finish. It came with some brushes, and a flex coat hand wrapper. I mean, it was the whole schmear, right? And so I didn't really realize what a thing guide sets, handle kits, like
yeah,
taking the mystery out of it and making it simple because it's just never the way I had ordered. But we sell way more guide sets and handle kits than loose to the custom supply houses, not to manufacturers. Obviously, they sort of buy the parts, but man, if you could pick the blank and then say what you're going to use it for, and then it could give you
yeah,
the whole recommended set of components to go with it, a
yeah.
blueprint for guide spacing and handles, stuff to
And
start. Like
multiple options, right?
people
Kind of
would
different shoe levels.
love, yeah,
That can be from a new customer standpoint, right? And we see it a lot. And
yeah,
that's why we get so many phone calls and emails
yeah,
is, from somebody getting into it who's new, right? Who doesn't have a ton of
hmm
experience. It can be overwhelming, right?
oh,
The
100%, right,
amount
yeah,
we carry 25,000 different SKUs,
right, yeah,
across 15 different vendors.
right.
So it's a lot. It's a
It
lot
is
of
a lot, yeah,
information, and somebody going there, they're not going to know.
yeah,
So the better we can help them, the more we can help simplify things for our customers,
yep,
and just try to inform them and educate them,
yep,
and just for them to have a good, enjoyable experience on the website from start to finish, not just on the website, but with HFF in general,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Whether
No,
they come see us at a trade show, they come in the store to see us, or they pick up the phone to call us,
yep.
or even if they send us an email, we want that whole experience to be streamlined, and enjoyable. Because, like I said, if we don't have good returning customers, we don't have anything.
Yeah,
So
no, it's a great point, and I'll tell you, I have been getting some feedback recently that, for example, we at Anglers need to do a better job with stuff like the point blanks. Like, why wouldn't we put together suggested whole kits and spacing and charts and pages? And I
well,
think
my
Bill.
system will do that for you. Don't worry about it.
No,
Just
it's
send it.
awesome, but no, it's part of why I'm bringing it up. Like,
Yeah,
Jack and I would love to
yeah,
engage in that with you. Like, and it's
yeah,
such a simple
yeah,
thing. Like, and I built all those blanks, so I've got the way at least I want to space them and build them, already worked out because I've done the work. So why wouldn't I share
Yeah.
that? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I love the way you're thinking about it, and I think that probably reflects
Yeah.
part of why you guys have such loyal customers and people get so excited about coming to see you. If you make it easy on them, right, and let them focus on the parts they enjoy instead of
Yeah.
the parts that are pulling teeth, that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Exactly. Well, that we're
So,
always doing something different too.
it,
It's like I never like to I never sit still.
right,
I never like to sit still. If something's sitting out on the showroom floor here behind me for 6 months, to me that's stale.
yeah,
And it's got
yep,
to be moved around, right? I
right,
got to keep things fresh. I got to keep things moving. The same thing
right,
with the website.
yep,
Same thing, while we got into stuff like this, right? Let's
yep,
do something that's new and different, and
right,
let's keep the ball moving.
absolutely.
Let's keep the needle going forward, and let's keep raising that ceiling.
And
So,
I think you kind of need that. I struggle with this as a rod builder. I struggle with this as a guitar player, right? Like sometimes you just need a little inspiration. You need something a little different. You get stuck in a rut, you know what I mean? And
yep,
you use the term stale about inventory, but I think I can get it stale for sure as a artisan or a maker, right? And sometimes so building a different type of rod, trying a new piece of equipment, whatever. It's surprising the little things that can sort of, I don't know, spur you, light a spark and get you
yeah,
back into it and remind you why you love it. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know I definitely built too many slow pitch rods in a row for about a few
In a row.
years, right? No, and then I started building BFS rods. I'm like, oh man, it's so nice to build something else. And so
Yeah.
it's a funny lesson to have to learn 30
Just
years
change it
in, but
up.
it's a
Yep.
lesson. It's okay. I'll hopefully I
Yep.
can continue to learn. I'm trying.
Yep.
Yeah, Bill, I'm building a CTS fly blank right now,
Oh, you dirty dog.
and I'm doing some things different on it. And I had someone
Ooh.
looking at it today. Why are you doing that? You're crazy. Why? Because I can, because I
Because
want
yeah.
to.
Yeah. And you
Yep.
don't know
Yeah,
until
I
you
want it to
know.
be different. I want to try something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
get, it's just a time thing right now. But usually when I do, it's probably something that people don't see a lot,
right.
right? And part of that's by design. I like to
Sure.
play around, experiment, put different parts together,
Yeah.
and see how it comes out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay.
Right.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
We hide those in the back.
Yeah,
put it in the
yeah,
back room.
yeah. Hey,
Customers don't see those. They'll never see them.
anybody, I think we all have a back room of those, right? And if we say we don't, we're lying. If you've
Yeah,
been building long
Right.
enough, you got some of that stuff. But I also think this kind of tinkering and testing and defying conventional wisdom can be where some of the innovation and performance
Sure.
on the margins comes from, right?
yeah,
So I love it.
yeah,
I mean, it's so funny. I was walking up and down the beach near me with a fly rod, and for a long time I built a lot of saltwater fly rods, probably anything 7 or heavier, just with ceramic ring guides, with not snake guides, and
Mhm.
we've tinkered around with building some rods for like U.S. national team accuracy people and distance people. Now that's a very different rod. That's built for
Right.
competition. It's not actually a fishing rod. I get it, but and someone's like, "Wow, that's crazy! Yeah, it's got to be the first fly rod ever built with." It's like, no, no. This rod is literally 20 years old to me, and I guarantee you, I got the idea from somebody else, right? Like this is not innovation. There is innovation that happens, but
yeah,
this is not it, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I love that stuff. Keep pushing the limits. But if you land on something good, tell me, and we'll bring you back, and we can do a podcast episode on it.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, it's so nice to chat with you guys. You mentioned the one event that's next week. That's
Yeah.
the Michigan Rod
Yeah.
Builders
So
Gathering. But
Michigan
what
Rod
about the
Builders.
dates on
Yep.
the other one?
So Michigan Rod Builders, Saturday, September 20th. Just real quick, we got Andy Deere is going to be. I can't get the guy out of Texas. I love you, Andy. I got to get you out
I
of Texas.
thought
He's
you were
going to do
about
it.
to say you're getting him to come, and I was like, I
No,
can't get him to go
no, I
anywhere.
can't do it. I can't do it. No, but he is going to be up on the big screen, and
Oh,
he's been
good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
been
that's
such a huge supporter for HFF, and I love him.
well, and he's
And
he's a neat guy, and he
yeah,
does everything he makes works, and he's got
yeah,
great products, and is an
yeah,
excellent builder and angler himself. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's good. He'll be a highlight even if
He'll
it's
definitely be a
virtual.
highlight, and this won't be the first time he's come and done some
Yeah,
demonstration for
no,
us.
and
So
it's not personal. He won't come see me either. I can't get him out to
don't take it personal.
ICRB.
Yeah, no,
I can't get him to ICAST. I can't get
I
it. And you know
know.
what?
Yeah.
He'll tell me, he's like, I just don't have to, and I don't want to, so I'm not going
No,
to.
that's
It's
it,
like,
and that's
okay,
the
all
truth.
right,
Yeah, yep, that's what he tells me, and that's okay.
it's all good.
No,
Yeah.
we'll also have Mike Ward with Custom Color Guides.
Oh yeah,
He is
yeah.
going to be up
Back
on the
Creek
screen.
Custom
I've got a
Rods.
bunch of his
Yeah.
custom color guides. They're
Yeah.
beautiful the way he's going to
He does great
talk
work.
about some of the highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Of course, Mike Garone is going to be here in
Yep.
person. I can't wait for
Fuji,
Mike
global
Garone.
authorized rod builder, such a talented guy.
Yes. The first time, this will be the first time we've had him up to the store, and I cannot wait.
You know,
So,
I was supposed to be there and I'm missing it because of my daughter's birthday party, which is the same day. And
well,
I
it's a
love
good
you,
reason to
Molly
miss.
James. Happy soon to be 13th birthday, but I'm sick to miss it. But yeah, you're getting the best of it with Mike anyway, because he's
Yes, definitely.
great teacher, great builder. And yeah, he's
Yeah.
got a million tricks up his sleeve. Every time I sit and watch him rap, I learn something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and then of course, we're gonna have some really good food. Planning on a nice cookout, cooking up some, ribs and some chicken. So it's gonna be
Oh,
good
watch
comfort
out
food.
now.
Yeah, yeah, and
Well, you're gonna have to
it'll
get
be,
brisket if you want to get Andy out of Texas. You got to
yeah,
figure
yeah,
out
yeah.
how to do
Maybe
a
that's
good
it. I just gotta
smoked
get
brisket.
brisket.
You
Yeah,
might get him out of San Antonio for brisket. I don't know. Maybe, maybe.
Do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that.
When
Yeah,
when is the other gathering? You have a second gathering you were
so
mentioning.
yeah, yeah, we got a few of them. So I don't think so. The Michigan Rod Builders is typically in the fall, and
Okay.
then the Great Lakes Rod Builders Gathering, right? That's
Okay.
typically in the springtime. So that's usually
Okay.
around April time.
Okay.
We try to do that after our trade show season, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So trade show season, it's the first 3 or 4 months of the year, and we
It feels
travel.
like it's January through July now.
I know,
Golly, it's
I
busy
know.
this year.
Yeah, it's busy. Yeah, like we've got some shows in local here to us, Novi in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
Ultimate Fishing Show will be at, and then of course ICRBE in February. We
Yeah.
always bring a full spread. Now
You
we're
do bring a
trying
full
to,
spread. Yeah.
yep, yep. We're trying to get more on the East Coast, right? So we're doing a New Jersey show.
Hmm.
And then we're also trying to get over to the other side, the West Coast too. We're thinking heavily about the PCS show.
Well,
So
it's man, it's shocking how many rod builders are out there, and I
yes,
love that show. I would highly recommend it. It's not inexpensive to get out there, and it's
Yeah.
a much bigger effort, and there's logistics involved with getting a booth and everything out there. Like I get
yeah,
it. And you're coming from even further east than me, but it's a really well organized, well run show. The weather
yeah,
is always gorgeous. It's just got a real cool, laid back vibe, and there's
yeah,
not only are there so many builders, like I was so shocked when we went to the Edison, New Jersey, the Sport Fishing Expo there, how many builders were there, right? And a lot of them I knew, and like NERBS guys and things like that. But there was 4 times that many I never heard of, never met. And it was like these
yeah,
guys are legit builders. I was awesome, right? Like I was so
yeah,
impressed with our community up there.
yeah,
California's the same way. And that PCS show is literally like the only place I'll go. Like anytime I see someone walking carrying a blank, I'm like, oh, are you a rod builder? And you're 50-50. Everybody's carrying a blank and it's 50-50. Are you a rod builder? And it's like, no, but I've got one and I'm getting this stuff for him. Like, which guides and reel seat do I need on this? It's like
yeah,
custom is such a part of the culture out there.
yeah,
And the anglers are sort of engaged in it. Like, I've never done this once in my life. I've had someone bring me a blank and be like, hey, can you rebuild this or can you rework this? But I've never had someone show up with like the blank bag full of components and be like, build this, right? Like, that's not how
yeah,
we do it. But that's a very typical arrangement with a lot of the West Coast builders
yeah,
because the anglers are so informed and discerning
yeah,
about the specific ways they're long range fishing out of San Diego, the surface iron rods or the jig sticks or the rail rods. Like they know what they want and they just go to the custom person to color it up and customize it the way they want, but they know exactly what guides they want, where, what sizes,
yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
length of the
yeah,
handles and the reel seat. It's really interesting. So,
yeah,
as a small business owner, it's always choices. Like, where are you going to spend your time? Where are you going to spend your money? And you guys are both family men too, but, PCS is a great show.
that's good,
And
good, yeah.
Jack always manages to sneak out and find some fishing in a bay nearby or something. I
Of
can't
course
remember.
he does.
I think he
Yeah,
caught calico bass. Him and Jake Hutchison, who used to do social media for uh, Foundation.
yeah,
They're always mixing it up and getting in some trouble out there. And
yeah,
and Steven Mendoza is one of our kind of brand ambassadors out there. Really jig junkies with a Z on Instagram and stuff. I don't know where he's getting these, but he has a place that has, when I tell you this is the best breakfast burrito you've ever had in your entire life, I'm telling
it
you
is.
it's the best breakfast
That's
burrito
right.
you've ever had in your entire life. It will change the way you think about a breakfast burrito. I'll put
A
it that way.
burrito will, a breakfast burrito will.
Well,
It's life changing.
pretty life changing for me. Of
Okay.
course, maybe I'm just hungover and really need to eat. I don't know, but when you look forward to it for a whole year and then it
Yeah,
doesn't disappoint, that's
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's good.
That's
Yeah.
meaningful.
That's
That's a
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meaningful burrito.
Steven's Jig Junkies has hooked us up, man, for sure. So if you guys decide to go out there, holler at us, holler at me,
Yeah,
holler at Aaron, and if we can
definitely.
All
help
right.
you manage
Yeah,
logistics in any way, we will. But
perfect.
it's a
Yeah,
fabulous show, and Bill DePriest is the guy who sort of ramrods it. He's great guy to work with, very responsive, very accountable, and it's a really well run and
yeah,
organized show. And this is so surprising me. They start that show every day with the Star Spangled Banner. And
Right.
everybody stops and sings the national anthem. And I was like, I would have never guessed this in California, right?
yeah.
But
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Wow.
just depends on which part of California you're in, and I just love the way they run that show. So I'll
Oh, that's
stop
good.
chattering now. But
No, that's
yeah,
good. Yeah. So when we're not traveling for trade shows or hosting events here at the store, we're doing rod building classes.
yeah. Well, that's
And
awesome.
so the
That's
rod building
awesome.
class, they've been great. We do 12 people at a time on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And lately we've been getting into advanced rod building classes too.
That's awesome.
I teach the beginning rod building
Yep.
classes because I'm
Yep.
comfortable with that.
Sure.
Usually for the advanced stuff, we'll bring guys in, like if, people want to learn about tiger wraps, right? Or some cross wraps or decorative wraps.
Yep.
Todd Dabrowski. I'm sure you've heard of Todd
Oh
Dabrowski.
God,
He's
weaving
local to us. He's in
genius.
Port Huron.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
His weaves are incredible. So
Yeah.
he's been a huge part, big supporter for us as well. And so he'll come down and he'll teach the some of the advanced rod building classes. So
Can
stay
people
tuned.
hear him when he talks? Because he's really
Yeah,
quiet.
people can hear him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they can hear him when he gets in the truck.
It's so
Yeah,
funny. He's usually at PCS. I love Todd, and he's been
yeah,
a friend and
yeah.
a mentor for many, many years. I couldn't even tell you how long, but it's funny. We'll be at one of these shows. We'll be at like ICRBE or we'll be at PCS because he's a Bats and Pro staff member, and he'll be in the
Uh-huh.
booth, and we
Yeah.
always say hey. And I love all those Bats and cats, right? Like and the whole Bats and family. Like I'm very pleased to call them friends, but they. Aaron and I will look at each other. We'll hear something. We'll be like, "Todd's here," He's got this, and just
My
if you
Todd
don't know
says he's
him,
tingling.
he has
Yeah.
this like deep, rumbling bass
Yes.
voice. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't miss it, right? And so as
That's
soon as he
Todd. We love
steps
him.
in the
Yeah.
hall, Aaron's like,
Yeah.
"Todd's here, Dabrowski's here." I was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
I hear it. I hear it." So
Presence. Yes.
yeah, exactly. You can feel it. The ground is vibrating when he's talking. But yeah, he
He's
did
got
the.
a big heart though.
He's got a
Oh, he
huge
has a
heart.
great
He
heart,
really
and
We
does.
support his rod for kids and
oh
yeah.
yeah, he does so much good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we support him in doing that, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And again, like the impact this one guide had on you, teaching you to build one rod, like who knows the impact he's having on these kids, and I just
Exactly.
it's such a cool segment of our craft. But the thing he told me that blew me away, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm going to be the Seven Dwarves rod. So he
Yes.
has
Yeah.
this rod that's basically it's beautiful and it's like a exercise in punishment. Like he has to be a sadist to even take this project on.
1,000 hours.
Oh yeah,
1,000
at
hours he's
least.
got for
And he
that.
redid one of the weaves like several times, like
I know
Yeah.
it. Yep.
and at some point he had somebody do the math. I can't remember the guy, his buddy. Is it John? Who's the guy that
John.
runs around with
Yep.
him? Yeah, I think John maybe did the math, and it was something like how many miles of thread were on that
Yeah.
rod, and it was
I
like
can't. Oh, Todd he was going to
It
hurt
was
me
like
for not remembering.
I thought it
It's
was two
three.
to 2 to 3 miles or 2 or 3 miles, something
yeah, I
like
Yeah.
thought it was like 3.5 miles or
that. Is
something.
that it?
It's
Yeah.
crazy,
The fact that
crazy.
it's miles at all, even
Yeah,
1 mile, half a
right.
mile of thread. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly, right. Although as someone who sells thread, we should probably be really happy with that, right? Like, wrap all you
yeah.
want, we'll
Keep it
make
going. You
more.
can do more, Todd. You can do more. Yeah.
Oh, we got to get him on someday too. Like some of those weaves and things are crazy, and it feels almost like that weaving. There's like been a little bit of a renaissance with that of late. Like it
Yeah.
was quiet there for a little while, and now we've got some new people and some new personalities. And
Yeah.
Todd's not new; he's been around, but it's cool to see it. It's cool to see it kind of resurging and to see some of these guys that carried the torch for so long, like Doc Ski and Jim Upton and Todd having students and disciples, and people carrying the art forward. Like I know
Yeah.
we've got one, he's in Georgia, but Jim Ormsby, who's a retired firefighter,
Yeah.
like he's gotten really good, it's just cool to see people go from 0 to 60 on that stuff because of all the information sharing and the teaching I just love that. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so we've got several of Todd's rods here in the store.
Oh wow.
And,
Yeah.
It's his crazy decorative ones.
Oh
And
yeah. They're showstoppers for sure. Yeah.
yeah, it definitely is. So we've got them on display, and guys come in and they pick up like he's got I think my favorite one is the Tigger, right, or the
Yeah.
Popeye.
Yeah. 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 I've seen
And
both of those rods. Yeah.
yeah, they'll pick it up and they'll be like, "Oh, that's a cool sticker." It's like, it's not a sticker.
That
Like,
is
what
not
do
a
you mean?
sticker,
It's
my
like,
brother.
this was done with thread moves.
Yeah, that's a
And
weed.
they're
Yeah.
looking at it closer. They're like, "How did
Yeah.
he do that?" And it's
Yeah.
like, "Sign up for our class."
How did he do that? Indeed. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a master.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, good luck with your event.
thank you.
Again, please accept my sincerest apologies that I'm not going to make it. And it's legit
We'll get you up
because
here.
we were also going to fish. And
Right.
so it may take more to get me to miss a fishing trip than it takes to get me to miss a rod building seminar, believe it or not, these days. But you guys took such good care of Aaron and Jack on the Pierre Marquette, and they came back with such unbelievable pictures and stories. It's like, one of these days, I got to make it.
Yes,
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
you will
So,
sooner than later for sure.
all
Yeah.
right.
And other side of the coin too, we got to get down to you.
Hey,
So
anytime. Come on.
I know
Yeah.
we had to unfortunately miss a trip too for some personal reasons here, but earlier this year. But we
Well,
definitely
hey,
need
we'll
to.
reschedule. And you
Yeah,
guys came to that event. We do, and we appreciate the support. And
and
we'll
we'll be
make
there
that
every
happen.
year.
We'll
We'll
get you
be there every
fishing.
year.
The good thing
Yeah,
about Venice is it's year round, man.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
literally, there's not a bad time to be there. So
yeah,
we'll make that one happen.
yeah.
You guys are in the permafrost for 6 months, so
Yep.
in the glacier like environment. So we have to work around that. It gives us less time of the year to make
You
it
just build
happen. But
different size rods.
Yeah, yeah,
well, yeah,
yeah.
right.
Your rod
100%.
diameters get a little smaller.
Man, not with these eyes, not anymore.
Yeah,
But I think my days as an ice rod builder have passed. I
yeah,
think that one
yeah,
is. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to just admire that one from afar because I don't see well enough anymore. But
yeah. Yeah,
mm,
it's funny. It brings up a great point because, we're in Michigan. It's very seasonal, right?
yeah, yeah,
So we have all the seasons. We're getting into fall right now, and then we've got winter,
yep.
and then spring, and then summer.
But
And
people
because of
fish
that,
all those
we
seasons year round.
exactly.
Yeah,
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 right. So, in the summer it's, you've got your bass rods, and then come in the fall, it's steelhead season and
yep,
salmon. And then in winter it's you get the ice rod stuff
yep,
out, right? And then
yep,
come in the spring, it's okay, let's get ready for walleye season
yeah,
and more
yeah,
steelhead. So it's, we've got all these, different times of the year. And so
yeah.
it's kind of fun for our, walk-in customers, and they come in, it's like, oh yeah, it's fall season. You got your steelhead and your salmon stuff out,
Well, it
and
creates some challenges for you as a retailer to sort of
definitely
keep
can.
managing the
Yeah.
inventory, but it really is pretty cool. It's the
Yeah.
classic Southern cliche thing to just complain about the cold and the snow and everything, but
Yeah.
we don't have a fishery like that, right? Like I think it's got to be pretty cool, not only as a builder, but as an angler to get to try some different things. I feel like everything you try, you learn something new and it may apply to something else you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all that stuff excites me, but
Yes.
Steve, you're gonna have to keep me posted on the status of this project with the CTS. I mean, I don't know how you're feeling. I'm feeling very optimistic just because it's really hard to mess anything up if you start with a blank that good, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of their product, but it's like, how could you even mess it up? But
I can't tell you how many
Stick around.
times I've started and stopped this. And
oh
then,
wow, really?
oh my gosh, I can't build a rod anymore because it takes me too long to figure out what I want to do.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what advice to give you in that situation. Maybe put it aside, build a few others, and just get out of the block. I don't know.
Yeah, the problem I've got with this one is it's a red color.
Mm.
And so I wanted to use some gray thread. And as I'm starting to wrap this thing, I'm going, I'm building an OSU rod. I'm a Michigan guy. You
Oh, can't do that.
know,
Can't
Can't
do
do that.
that.
not Ohio State. I can't build those colors.
Yep.
So that set me
Mm.
back, but I guess I'm
Yeah.
going to swallow my pride
But
and
you made a
go
good
ahead.
and honorable decision. You did the right thing, and you can look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't support those guys. Yeah.
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 Well, man, guys, thank you so much for your time, and thanks so much for all you do for the community. It's been great to have you on. I'm super excited about the new products. We'll get some links and everything from you, but you got to make sure and let us know when they officially launch, and we
We'll let you
will
know when they drop.
we'll post it up and make sure
It'll be
you know.
known.
Yeah,
It'll be
good,
known. It'll be on
good,
every Facebook page, every
good,
Instagram, yeah.
good.
It'll be known.
Well,
Just
that's
a quick, Bill, just a quick story on that.
yeah,
I think, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but we're going to probably start selling them, and we have a limited number to sell at
right.
the uh,
Oh,
Michigan
next
Rod
weekend
Building
on the
Gathering.
Next
20th.
weekend.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, and
awesome.
This red unit I showed you is one of the units that's going to be available for sale.
Oh,
we've
okay.
had numerous people come in and see them back here in the rod room where we're kind of testing and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
working out the kinks and stuff, and they all want to buy one. We could have
Right.
sold so many already.
Yeah.
And
That's a good sign. That's a good
yeah,
sign.
but the other day, this boy named Blaine comes in with his
All right.
parent.
Yeah.
And did he take our rod class?
No.
No. I started building somewhere, and this little boy is just eat up with it.
Oh, I
I,
love it.
I mean, he is so excited,
Yep.
and his parents are great. They support him.
Yep. That's awesome.
And so he saw the wrapper and
Whoa.
the power wrapper, and he's been working on a hand wrapper, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how much.
Yeah.
And so he has been very, very persistent.
Yeah.
And he called me the other day. I think he called me, and then his mom called.
Oh,
And then the dad's on the phone. I mean, they
right.
have a three-way going,
Full court
and
press. Yeah.
they're pressing me so hard to save this kid a wrapper,
Yeah.
So finally I said, look, Blaine, yeah, I'll hold one aside for you. you know. And I just can't say no to the kids when they start like that.
Oh,
But
it's hard. And who wants
yeah.
to, right? Like who
Yeah, absolutely.
that
Yeah.
might be the next Todd Dabrowski or Jim
Yeah,
Salikas
yeah.
or Doc
Yeah.
Ski or something
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen the rods
or the
that he's
next
already
Steve or
done.
Joe Haywood. You
Yeah.
know?
No,
I don't know if we want that, but
No, this kid's done a dozen rods,
Yeah.
and
That's
the
awesome.
most recent ones are very good.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
The kids, it can be daunting, the attention span and everything you teach them, but that's the thing. Their eyes are so good and they learn so quickly, and like their dexterity and stuff. If they're a kid that's inclined for that, it's shocking how fast they improve, right? Like faster than I improve, man.
It's like him. He sits there and watches one YouTube video, and he's doing cross wraps in 15 minutes.
well,
And
it's
the kid's a natural.
It's a great point. So, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but when we do our rod building classes, we've taught anywhere from 7 years old
yeah,
to 87 years old, right?
Right.
And I tell you what, that 7, 8, 10 to 15 age group,
It's a sweet spot.
they're so much easier to teach
Yeah.
than the 30, 40, 50-year-old guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we just naturally, we overthink it. We question it. Why
Right.
are we doing it this way?
Right.
We think, well, maybe I should do it this way instead,
Right.
regardless of
Yep.
what I just told you to do.
Yep.
The kids, on the other hand, I tell them to do it. Okay, I'll do it. That's the way
Yeah,
I'll do it.
exactly.
And boom, they're done.
Yep.
And it's like they're always done with the rod first.
Right.
The parents are looking over at them. How'd
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No, that's awesome.
It's funny. It's just, it's the way kids are, but we love kids in here to do the rod building classes. And that's important, right? That's the generation that we need to be encouraging and helping along, and because
100%. But the thing with the kids, like, we're competing for their future with screens and AI
Absolutely.
and all these other things. And it's like, I get on the soapbox all the time, but it's like, we have the resources we have now and the access we have now, in part because of license sales and in part because having a engaged and informed voting public that protects our sportsmen's rights and our outdoors rights and our outdoor access, right? Don't assume that's forever. Like there's all kinds of big money lobbies and competing interests that would gobble up any private property, any water access or rights, like in a heartbeat. Like we should all be very concerned about that as a matter of, survival of this sport for our grandkids, right? And just have the access, and we're so blessed to live in a country that is just spoiled for natural resources, and we've had some visionary leaders and past presidents and those who came before us that have seen fit to protect a lot of that for us. But I worry about it more and more every day, and so I don't care whether you're getting them into rod building or whether you're just taking them fishing or whether you're taking them outside to shoot a BB gun safely or whatever it is. Like we should all be very, very engaged in that and concerned, because I'm worried we're losing the war right now.
Yeah.
And on that happy note, anything else I can do to depress you boys before we say goodbye?
Now you've done enough.
All right, thanks. Well, hey, man, it's so good to have y'all on, and thank you so much for the time. And we'll get this out quickly, so I hope maybe a few people who didn't know about the gathering will hear about it and show up. But you guys do them every year; they can come anytime, and I'm very much looking forward to the release of the new equipment. So keep us informed.
Yeah.
And
I think it's going to do well.
I just want to say one thing here,
Sure.
and hopefully he'll hear this. Wade Daly, if you're coming, bring more salsa.
Oh, more salsa.
Wade is going to make great salsa.
Wade Daly. All right.
Yeah.
The call out. All right. We'll see.
Wade Daly, we're calling you out. You don't bring salsa, you're not.
Yeah, you better be here, Wade.
Coming in the door.
Wow. All right. Wade.
That's right.
And Wade comes
no
up
Michigan builders for you, buddy.
And he comes up from Indiana for it. So he drives a little bit to get here.
All right, wait, I'm just saying it seems like there's a lot of demand for this salsa. It seems like there's some new products. Maybe don't give it away too easy. Maybe we can have a little barter economy going on. I mean, you're full grown, you figure it out, but okay. Message sent. Thank you for using the podcast as your personal chat room with
I know.
And hey, to our audience, if I can get
it may not make it through the editing phase.
Yeah, if I can, it will. If I can get the recipe out of Wade, we'll post it up with the podcast. It sounds intriguing.
Well, next time we'll have it labeled HFF salsa. So
there we go. There we go. Awesome.
We'll get the rights to it.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for your time. And thanks to you guys all and gals for listening. We appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and download wherever you get your podcast content. We'll see you next time.